So welcome to our intermission menu. You can see it's different than what we're a little bit used to. It's a lot more cut down and compressed compared to VX and T. So instead they do a lot more of a tab system. So we can't really do much information. This is all just what we're used to. Power parts, cell parts. Oh. To quickly, but the main thing I want to talk about I'm trying to figure out what I want to tackle first for this. I'm actually going to tackle the move menu. So, SR30 does not have a linear storyline as we saw with SRV, X, and T. So, it's not just the ship going, for example, with V, it wasn't just the Yamato going to Iskandar. And, everything happened along the way. Here, we get to choose. We are truly an autonomous core. We get to pick and choose our missions. Using the overview here for movement, you will be able to click on these and, well, these two are our currently active missions. Awakened Hero and League Militare. If we go into the mission menu, you can see them here. There's more you can do in the move menu, but we'll talk about that later. There are two types of missions. Area missions, which are going to be the normal stuff we do to recruit new pilots and everything like that. Onboard missions, this is where Ace Pilots are going to happen. This conversation actually explains Ace Pilots. And where you'll collect your DLCs if you've got them. So I am going to collect all my DLCs just because we're on a harder difficulty. I will talk about them with the following. Oh yeah, also the way we're going to handle onboard missions, specifically the Ace Pilot. We're not going to do all the onboard missions because there's so many and a lot of them are just busy work. We will use them to grind up certain units, but they will not be put into the playlist on YouTube. The other thing is for Ace Pilot conversations, I will probably just set time aside and just do a whole bunch of them and we'll upload them separately. We'll do 5 at a time or something, just because there's a lot of pilots in this game. To talk about the various DLC ones here, though, Bonus Mission Pack 1 was the extra missions that was released with the game on day 1. They are the equivalent of all the bonus missions in SRV, X, and T. They're gag missions, or, they're funny events that happened, or weird combinations, or sometimes they'll tackle side plot lines that wouldn't really fit in the main story of the game, but they're done for laughs. There's one that's entirely just a beach episode, and it's fun. This was the bonus for buying the Premium Sound and Data Pack. As I mentioned, the Premium Sound Pack was basically lyric versions of a bunch of songs. And also a bunch of classic SR songs returning. There's a reason I bought that. We'll talk about that as we get more and more machines. The extra Spirit of Blade, Shot, and Power, if I remember correctly, these were pre-order bonuses, but because I've bought all the DLC, it got added. And then there's the expansion pack, which is... I'm trying to remember here. This was the last DLC released for the game, and is going to give us some various stuff. Oh, sorry, stretching a little bit. In terms of those rewards down there, if you notice, they all have stars. There is a rarity system. I'm just going to skip past all these cutscenes because it's pretty much the same thing. I'll play the first one and we'll go there. It's basically, we've received some supplies to help in the fights to come. So for this one, we got 100,000 credits, 1,000 pilot points, 5,000 MXP, and SP Getter. There's our first reference to Getter. Why do I hear screaming? For the sound pack, we got another 100,000, another 1,000 pilot points, 5,000 MXP, and the topological site. Oh yeah, the other... yeah, because I just completely forgot to talk about it. There's also the prereqs. So, as we've mentioned in the past, SR has a lot of secret points. That has not changed. There are secret trackers in the background. I will talk about them all as we go, especially because one is coming up soon. It's essentially just, you know, they always defeat a certain enemy or battle them with certain characters, that kind of stuff. Why did you frame me for murder? I don't know if he was actually framed in this timeline, but we'll go into that later. The onboard is going to show us all the milestones. There are two types of trackers for this game. There's going to be shot down, and then there's milestones. The milestones are, as you can see, are everything. So we've got, this one is, if I remember correctly, combat power. This is your entire team as a whole's combat power. This is a single unit's combat power. Achieve a total of 300 shot downs as a group. Earn 1 million credits. First supporter, which is just use the support command 3 times. Complete 10 side missions, which are non-key area missions. If I'm remembering correctly, this also will count towards any... basically, any side mission that doesn't move the story along, even if it recruits a member. Because there are certain missions that will give you a new pilot, but it doesn't move the main story. And then there's 30 missions, which of course is just the grand total. So because with this one, we got a 4-star power part, we've got a thing with the... we've got a conversation, and we've earned 3,000 total pilot points. These conversations, again, I'm also going to skip because it's just like, congratulations, we hit this amount. And, oh, the next one we'll do is when we hit this amount. Blah, blah, blah. It's all pretty much copy-paste. Yeah, this is all pretty much what these conversations are. They don't really add much. They're not that big of a deal. So I don't mind skipping these. The main one for the onboard missions that I care about are ace pilot conversations. We'll also skip... I think we'll skip this conversation because this is also, again... yeah, this is kind of something... well, actually, we'll let Mavi kind of talk while I explain. We've already had the ace pilot conversation multiple times throughout the course of the game. The 3 games we played so far. Basically, if you get a certain number of shoot downs with a pilot, they will receive ace pilot status. When you increase their kill score high enough, yeah, here we go. 60 kills, they'll become an ace. There's a way to cut this down. That is, of course, the Proud Ace pilot skill. There's also Grand Ace, and I believe new to this game, Super Ace. To receive Super Ace, you need to get a bunch of kills. All Grand Ace and Super Ace don't really add much. Some people complain that they aren't really worth... oh, Super Ace isn't really worth the amount of kills needed to feed to a unit. But it's there. I've had, I believe... on my Switch version, I think I had 4 Super Ace pilots, one of which being my protagonist. Of course, I can talk about him because he's on the goddamn cover. Ryoma Nagari and Getter Robo. And Amuro Ray and Koji Kabuto in Mazinger. There were others I had who... there was also another one who I had with Super Ace. Actually, he's also on the cover, so I'll talk because he was a big selling point for this game. Studio Trigger's Gridman from Sabara Productions. Because much like back in Super Robot Wars V, where the Yamato was such a big deal because it was the first non-mecha space opera in Super Robot Wars, Gridman is a huge deal because he's one of the first tokusatsus. He's not... well, Gridman, the new one, has a very much of a mecha flair to it. It is not mecha per se. Because Gridman was always more in line with the original Ultraman. Yeah, Spirited Blade, Shot and Power. These are all just going to give me power parts. And other... more money. So let's just collect the rest of this. I don't mind collecting all this just because we have a we are going to have a little bit of a rough battle ahead of us, well, with the fact we're on hard mode and starting in space. Since, don't get me wrong, I love my Huckbin. It's not a tank. Oh, I forgot I got the attacker early. Okay, so now with all that out of the way, I'm sorry, like, this is so much talk about new mechanics, but there's a lot of new mechanics to go over. So let's talk about the MXP, or upgrading your battleship. There are multiple areas you can upgrade, and each one has 3 chapters, pretty much. Or 3 systems. So on the bridge, there's the comm system, the fire control system, and the scouting system. The hangar has unit facilities, weapon facilities, and supply facilities. Engine room has output, thrust, and integrity boosts. Training is CQB, RNG, and tactics. Quarters will have mess bay, lounge, and sick bay. The lab. The lab is the most important one to upgrade when it comes to starting it. Just because there are capstones for how far they can go in terms of the upgrades right now. You can pass them, you can move them by upgrading the AOS research. I stress this. Upgrade this as soon as possible. This is probably going to what's going to take up, I think, all of my upgrade data. Yep. Okay, I don't have 8th, but yeah. That took, as you can see, that took a lot of my points. But the fact that we got it all the way to 6, I recommend putting a lot to. Okay, here's my thing. I try to get AOS research maxed as quickly as possible, just so I have the whole all the trees unlocked. Going further, the investment research is going to be helpful in terms of the money situation, and then personal research will help you with pilot points and catching pilots up if they fall behind. Quarters, these are going to increase the SP for all pilots. I mean, Mess Hall will give everyone extra SP points for your spirit deck. Very useful. The lounge is for supporters, but it also at high level all allies will deploy with 1 EXC, which, you know what, that's always useful. And sick bay is kind of gonna hit all of them. The training room these are gonna provide, well, the CQB and RNG will provide permanent stat boosts to promote the various forms of combat, whether it be coast combat or guns. Tactics will actually affect the EX skills for all the party. For example, boost dash will, instead of being +2, will now be +3. Direct attack now lasts until the start of your next phase, so it also applied during the enemy's phase. Boost dash would cost boost and direct will now cost 1 less. Trick attack will cost 1 less. Smash it will cost 1 less, and multi-action will cost 1 less. If I remember correctly, multi-action as of right now costs 4 to use. It has had its price increase between SRT and 30. The engine room is going to be permanent boost to the Drostinger itself. So if you want to use it as a frontline battleship, you're going to be upgrading the engine room. Unit facilities, I cannot stress this. This is probably the second most important room behind the lab, because unit facilities lower the cost to upgrade your machines and add the other upgrade tiers. Weapon facilities lower the cost of weapon upgrades, and supply facilities they make it easier to recharge your units on the battlefield, and also give your ship the, I believe, yeah, both repair and resupply. And then the bridge will also be more permanent stats to the boost to the Drostinger, or Drostinger, but the battleship. And then finally, on standard upgrades, this is exactly the same as it was back in SRV, X, and T. Nothing else has changed here. It's all pretty much the same. I'm going to invest heavily into you. Last thing, power parts. Nothing else really has changed here. I'm going to give you the AOS arc. And no, that's skill program. I guess I kind of forgot the last thing to talk about. Skill program. So this is pretty much skill learning we had in VX&T, but it has changed a little bit. So as you can see, there are certain ones that are locked. We don't have access to every ability. They will become unlocked as the game goes on. Okay, as usual, fighter spirit. Okay, let's see. And then I want instinct at level 4. Uso, I'm gonna give 3 copies of save energy. Oh, he's already got 1, so 1 more than me. And that. There are certain characters I'm going to be prioritizing with the start of the game. Much like I did with SR, VX, and T. Oh, X I didn't really start prioritizing until we got, Gurren. Okay, there we go. So with that, for the quest we got League Militare and Awaken Hero. The game will recommend... So, as you go in here, the game will give recommendations. I will have my own personal. If people in chat want to see certain missions beforehand, I will hit those. Personally, I want to hit Awaken Hero before League Militare. Just because... Awaken Hero is us picking up, new party members. So, let's go do that. And right now, I need party members. Fix what's broken. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Hangar 1 slots are... Yeah, you can look behind them. These things are fucking huge. Especially when it comes to the... Mobile suit designs going forward from Victory. They're small. I think they're taller than the mobile fighters from G Gundam, but they're way smaller than Double Zeta. It's an all-purpose combat. It's all-purpose battleship. It's not just for mobile suits. It can deploy full-scale heavy SRs. We've talked about SRs in the past. That would be the equivalent. Those are Mazinger, Getter Robo, Gurren Lagann. They're your complete custom-tuned, one-of-a-kind machines that are complete bullshit. And we love them. Doesn't know where Shakti is. Last you heard. He's pepped up. Yeah, because they don't... the League Militari, from what I remember, isn't like a proper military. They're also not like the largest faction in terms of Mobile Suit Gundam. So everyone kind of does a little bit of everything. You know how to... if you have a mobile suit, you learn how to take care of your mobile suit. And there's no manual for the Gundam. Because it was developed by the League Militari, it's not like if they were to receive New Gundam, they just request the blueprints from Anaheim. Something we picked up from our brother. It's very unprofessional, but you know what? Good. I kind of like it more when we play loose and fast with military rules. So she's trying to recruit people to make the strongest corps in the Earth Federation forces. Yeah, we have a full mechanics staff, but we only have 2 machines, and the... yeah, and this place itself, the ship itself hasn't received any damage. It's not like when we were on the Yamato or with the Arcadia, where it's like, there was always a problem to fix. The machine is categorized as a personal trooper. It's a different category from a mobile suit, so the tech is very different. Yeah, he's good at the small details, but he doesn't have the skills to be a leader. We're all still half-baked soldiers. Don't worry too much about protocol. Yeah, because Using, despite all this, what we talked about with civvies getting to the mobile suits and going onto the front lines, like Amuro Ray was not a good pilot. The Gundam was making up a lot of that difference. The prime example to see Amuro's skill growth would be to put him next to Char Aznable. During the start of the 1 Year War, Char kicked Amuro's ass in their first few encounters. Like, Amuro barely got away, and it was only through the performance of the Gundam. Towards the end of the war, Amuro was keeping... Well, towards the midpoint of the war, Amuro was keeping pace. And then at the end, Amuro was better. The only reason Char survived was the Gundam could not keep up with Amuro. There are multiple theories of what would have happened if the Alex made it to Amuro, and a lot of them boil down to Char would have died. And if Char was dead, we might not have had the events of Zeta Gundam go down the exact way they did. On to the Star Rose space station. With love and justice and all that crap. And where do you get those, Edius? So they have the stats, it's just they can't work as a team. From here on, they've graduated, and now they've got to fight on the front lines under the Earth Federation forces. Ruins of a colony that took damage in the Primeval War. So in other words, the events of King of the Braves. We actually fought the Primeval War during Super Robot Wars T. At least if I'm correct that the Primeval War was King of the Braves, not Final Gal Gar. Or King of the Braves Final. I forget what that one's called. I don't think he expected to get this position. These are quite interesting machines. I like their more organic appearance. This is one of the only few of these scenes we're gonna get for this game. I believe I remember correctly, there are 2 more, and they'll happen later. Much later. May I present Team Rabbids, a team that suffers from over-crippling specialization. So Blue One's a forward unit. It's equipped for close to mid-range combat. It's optimized for quick bursts of acceleration. So basically, it is your frontliner. Purple 2 is a rear liner designed for wide-range strategic recon. There is a gimmick to this. I will talk about that later. Rose 3 is... It is meant for get in fast, hit hard. It is very similar to the mechs of Cross Ange, actually. Yeah, long range bombardment, so it's a sniper. This one, the main issue with this one is he has no move and fire weapons. Red 5 is a leader unit, is focused mostly for frontline combat, actually. They're expecting Bulgaru. Our dreams. Wants to find a cutting edge unit. And there we go again. He knew. They asked. They specifically asked. You can't really give them too much shit. May I introduce the Mulgaru? These guys aren't anything too serious. You don't really get a choice in terms of deploying units. They just are gonna happen right now. Mulgaru, the enemies of all humanity. They're invaders from outside our solar system, and they just want to kill. Nah, we don't need to talk about the morale system. We already know it. So, okay, so now that I've actually got control, we can pull up the full list of these. Talking about the Majestic Prince units. While I do like their designs, they have issues. In particular, Gold 4. Gold 4 has quite a decent bit of damage output potential with its high energy charged particle cannon and the photon resonance rapid fire cannon. There's an issue though. None of the weapons are moving fire. So anything that has the symbol of a gun and an arrow has moving fire. This wouldn't be an issue if it had better range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for now, keep the Majestic Prince units grouped up and we'll move them later. The other thing, though, is Wide-Range Strategic Recon. This is a unique ability only available to this machine. It will activate Analyze on all enemies on the map. This is a weaker version of what Ruri had back in SR V and T. I'm gonna just let them sit there as a defensive line. I'm turning to this music. This is something from the expansion pass I used. I just like this track. Trying to think. Oh yeah, the other thing is they have a harmonic level. The harmonic level is like the link level for the Avas back in SRV. They're not bad machines. They work well enough. It's just the issue of they are way too specialized. Like, the whole idea behind them is you deploy all of them at once or none at all. Or at least that's it in theory. I usually just end up deploying red 1. Or is it red 5? Main point is I deploy the red machine the most. Though, Rose 3 here is also pretty useful. Can't control it. Rose 3 actually also has pretty good damage potential. It's like Gold 4, the main issue is getting enemies in. It wouldn't be a problem if... it's not a problem on certain maps where you start with enemies surrounding you. It's just, it's not good on this one. For Purple 2, it's not really here for combat purposes. You mostly deploy Purple 2 for that strategic recon. I agree with that. How can Zatskar justify that when we've got fucking aliens? Or now they come for everything. So talk about the Bulgaru here. They're not the toughest things in the world. They're actually pretty fragile. Or at least these little drones. I would actually recommend using them to feed kills to certain units. The big ones in the back, those ones can actually hit a little hard and can take a solid hit. Is that a shuttle? Why is a civilian shuttle out here? Fight or flee, fight or flee, fight or flee, fight or flee. Choose the fight. Holy shit! Worry, what have you done with Zuru? And there's the pylon. To be honest, I think any of the captains we've had over, with the exception of I think maybe Nemo, because Nemo was so caught up in his revenge, I think when he got his head on straight and he wasn't so blinded by it, he would have made this, they all would have made the same call. The civilian ship. We definitely know Harlock and Okaita would have made that decision. Oh! Hey, Timeline Man! Welcome back! They're fast and black, like little space bugs. Failure 5 time! So if you're willing to put in a little bit of, like, the work for them, they are a perfectly serviceable team. It's just, my main issue is the fact that, like I keep saying, they suffer over crippling specialization. The fact that if you don't lure them in well enough, basically, Gold 4 here becomes somewhat useless because of the fact he's spending most of his time moving back into position so he can snipe. At least Red 5 here. Red 5 and Rose 3 are great frontliners. And Purple there, I don't think I can stress how good Purple is. Mostly because that unique ability. That unique ability is amazing. Octopath, I forgot Octopath Traveler 2 came out today. So yeah, by the way, we took custody of you. He has 0 move and shoot weapons. That's the only issue I have with him. If you could throw... One of the other ways you can make him useful is... I forget what the ability is called, but it's the one that when you deploy, you get Excel, Charge, and everything like that. Just because it makes him usable. He's actually able to be part of an opening volley. If he started with charge, he would be perfectly fine. Can you put a plug on your hormones for 5 freaking minutes? Those two are, from what I can tell, the opposite. Yeah, no, that's the main issue with just the overall thing with Majestic Prince. Their machines, they fall off by midpoint. When you start getting super robots and some of the later Gundams, they really are replaceable. Especially with the DLC machines. I stopped running Rose 3, I pretty much swap her out with Ultraman. Oh, was that? Yeah, these two are the exact opposite. One's after girls, the other's after guys. We have the duality. Yep. So I don't hate these machines. They're perfectly fine. It's just if they weren't so specialized, then it's more so they're a victim of their show, I guess is the best way to put it. Because they're trying to make it behave like the squad from the show. And, well, it doesn't always work very well. It's not like, for example, Getter, where Getter's like, no, even in its show, it's a fucking god of destruction. So we just did that. It was a failure of, and there it is. They've said the word. Oh, we didn't even say that. No one cares! More like washouts. I wouldn't say weak, I would say simple. Like, he's got a desire to be a hero. It's not overly complex. Like, that's the thing, a lot of characters, sometimes at work, you don't need something like deep or philosophical. It's, I want to help people. I want to be a hero. You know what? That's perfectly fine. I mean, hell, Amuro didn't really have motivation for a good while. Amuro was such a problem as a mecha pilot, Bright had to slap him. All hail the Bright slap. Yeah, and this is just some little bit of a lore dump for Majestic Prince. Fail 5 is a school-wide nickname because they're always dead last. You're heading into dangerous territory. Yeah, that does sound really sinister. I was half expecting her to be the villain of this game. No, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly the thing with the rabbits. I would actually compare them to a Super Sentai team, where each character fills a different role and archetype. It's not bad. It works. I mean, hell, we've had plenty of shows where it's like where one of these characters wouldn't work by themselves, but when put together in a team, they work well. The Majestic Prince team feels exactly like that.